Dear colleagues, let me start the presentation on the topic Technical Implementation of the Visual Novel as a Tool for Gamification of Learning in Accordance with the Cyber Hygiene Requirements. We will review basic definitions, analyze modern scientific papers, consider graphic software for designing the narrative of visual novel, code snippets for secure development and stage of reliability and information security testing. Visual novel is one of the new and innovative approaches to gamification of educational process. Its creation requires compliance with a number of cybersecurity measures. The report presents modern technologies and approaches to the development of interactive educational visual novel in compliance with the cyber hygiene requirements. The technical implementation of software solution and the architecture of the visual novel project is shown on the example of Milorad Pavich's story, The Glass Snail, which is studied by high school students in Ukrainian schools. Today's youth, who are used to an interactive and visually rich environment, almost do not accept traditional methods of presenting educational material. Therefore, gamification is now gaining popularity as an approach to increasing motivation and developing practical skills in students and school children. A special place here is occupied by a visual novel, which in this study was created using RenPy, EasyPaint Toolsai Godot, and Unity. Using the capabilities of RenPy in combination with models of the Python programming language, the product was tested for cyber threats and unauthorized access to user data. The purpose of this research is to analyze the technological solution that allow creating a safe, accessible, and effective visual novel as a means of gamified learning. One of the key aspects of this visual novel is the creation of graphic content, illustration, sprites, backgrounds. The graphics were created in the EasyPaint Toolsai program, which is one of the most effective tools for artists working with the raster graphics and meets the criteria of a safe, autonomous environment. It does not require an internet connection, does not store metadata in the cloud, and provide local image processing. The layout of the visual novel took place in the RenPy environment. This is an open source engine that allows you to create a structured and a safe educational product. An important advantage of RenPy is the lack of the need for online license of account verification. All resources are localized, which reduces the risk of data leakage. Each section of the novel has its own label, and transitions between them are implemented using an intuitive section menu that allows the user to choose the reading trajectory. The application of programming elements such as labels, animations, selection branches, and transition logic was implemented through the open source Visual Studio Code environment, which provides secure storage, functionality extension through plugins, and engine integration without the need to connect to external servers. Visual Studio Code was also used to edit the visual novel script and to create and test game logic, including educational scenarios related to internet safety, online communication ethics, and information hygiene. RenPy scripting structure involves the use of a label operator, which defines a specific point in the code that the program can access. For example, the label start construct means the start of the main script, which will be executed after the user clicks the start button in the main menu. The basis of the visual novel is the text of the story, which is entered using a rate-controlled output tag. The CPS, character per second, attribute determined the frequency of the gradual appearance of characters on the screen, which simulates the effect of close to live reading. This is how the entire text narrative of the novel is structured. At the final stage of creating a visual novel, a distribution is assembled from locally stored files, which prevents unauthorized access to the source code or graphics resources. This is in line with the principles of cyber hygiene: control over data, autonomy of the software environment, minimization of the user's digital footprint. Analytics and third-party SDKs were not used to avoid unwanted data collection and leakage. In addition, regular software updates to address potential vulnerabilities are a mandatory software requirement. In the development of the visual novel, an algorithm was implemented that combines the generation of a pseudonymized unique user identifier, symmetric encryption of interaction files, and local storage of encrypted information without the use of external servers. This slide shows part of the description of the algorithm that demonstrated the logic of the actions of a digital system when working with personal data in the RenPy engine environment. This algorithm for the technical implementation of personal data protection in the visual novel, taking into account the requirements of cyber hygiene, ensure the security and protection of the user's personal data, which are critically important aspects in the development of educational visual novels, especially in case where the target audience is minor users. To achieve the goals, a technical model of local data processing with encryption is used. Thus, it can be started then even using simple development tools in the RenPy environment. It's possible to implement reliable protection of personal data and ensure ethical interaction between the digital product and the user. This certainly contributes to the formation of trust in educational games and the development of conscious attitude to security in the information environment. After the technical implementation of the visual novel was completed, testing was conducted to verify its robustness, that is, its resilience to failures, its ability to maintain data integrity, meet confidentiality requirements, and demonstrate appropriate functional security. This approach is consistent with modern practices in developing secure software, including the requirement for educational digital solutions that implement cyber hygiene principles. In order to verify the correctness of functioning, resistance to failures, and compliance with information security requirements, a comprehensive testing of the visual novel Glass Snail, implemented using RenPy engine and supplement with a data encryption module based on the PyCryptodome library was conducted. The main attention was paid to the evaluation of mechanism for storing and processing users' data in a local environment without using network services. This slide shows the result of validating a unique user identifier. As a result of analysis of the possibilities of the visual novel as an innovative means of gamification of the educational process, it was proven that this format of educational content contributes not only to increasing the motivation of students, but also allows integrating the components of pedagogy, information security, and digital ethics into a single interactive model. Creating a visual novel is a complex process that encompasses technical, didactical, and cyber hygiene aspects, from software modeling to ensuring the protection of user data. Thank you for your attention.